Good afternoon, friends. Today we start the fifth part of the 33 Strategies of War by Mr. Robert Greene. I have so far spoken on the first part, that is self directed warfare and its four strategies. Then the organizational warfare, that's a team warfare and its three strategies. Thereafter, I've also spoken on the defensive warfare and its four strategies. Then I've talked about the offensive warfare and its all 11 strategies. And today I shall be starting and talking on the fifth important and essential part of the book, and that is the unconventional, or we call it the dirty warfare. And there are a total of 11 strategies here too in unconventional warfare. But today I will talk about its first four strategies for ease of understanding and better explanation, and not taking too much of your time. So before I start on those strategies, let me have a word on the unconventional or the dirty warfare. What does the author mean, or I mean as a soldier? You all must remember, my friends, that the greatest advantage in any warfare comes from the element of surprise. And that means hitting the enemy with strategies that have novelty, resourcefulness, ingenuity, and outside their experience, and totally, completely unconventional. The morals and the ethical codes that governed the warfare for centuries since the time of Mahabharata, they have very gradually eroded and had become almost non-existent. The only rule applicable in war, any kind of competition with your opponent or enemy, is that you got to win. Nothing else matter. Now these two effects, the morals and the ethics, the author says, they developed into what we today call a dirty war, where anything is acceptable and everything goes. This dynamics of duty has filtered into society and the culture at large in every aspect, whether in politics, business, or society. The way to defeat your opponent is to surprise them from an unexpected angle. Totally take them by surprise. Now this is all about the basics of the unconventional warfare or a dirty warfare. The unconventional or a dirty warfare basically has four logics, and these logics the author summarizes. Firstly, that nothing stays new for long. Everything becomes old with a period of time. And your opponents, your oppositions, your enemies, they find a counter method or a measure to tackle that. So nothing stays new for long. First logic of the dirty warfare. The second, people who use unconventional methods are very difficult, very hard to fight, and very difficult to defeat. These strategies are so damaging. It gives you a greater understanding of actually a diabolical psychology involved in every strategy we will going to talk in the various strategies of the dirty or unconventional warfare. So the 23rd strategy of the 33 strategies of warfare, and the first strategy of the unconventional warfare is that weave a seamless blend of fact and fiction. And he named this strategy as a misperception strategy. Since no creature can survive without the ability to see and sense what is going on around it, it makes it hard for you or for your enemies to know what is going on around him, what is happening, including what you are planning or what you are doing. Feed their expectations with absolute falsehood. Manufacture a reality to match their desires, and they will fool themselves. Control people's perception of reality, and you will surely control them. Misperception strategy, basically, it disturbs their focus and you weaken their strategic power. All planning goes for 6. People prepare whatever, all their preparations gets flattened. And most of the planners, their all preparations and planning is guided by their emotions. They tend to interpret the world according to what they want to see. And the best deception are based on ambiguity, mixing fact and fiction, so that the one cannot be disentangled with the other. What we wish, my friend, we readily believe. What we ourselves think, we imagine others also think similarly. Basic psychology of every human being. So what do? You send creative pleasure in manufacturing appearances, as if you are directing a film. Remember, the main focus out here on deception. Each deception has its own importance, and basically, you see, how do you in army, when you go for a war, how do you plan a deception? You present a false front, the decoy attack, camouflage, blending with the environment so that you are unnoticed. The hypnotic pattern, everyone believes, and that everybody is so predictable that they have got a set pattern, and this is harmful. If you have a predictable routine or a pattern, you are bound to fail. I get caught up. Planted information. You plant information into enemy's camp or the opponent's mind in such a way that it starts appearing real to him. He starts believing that they are truth. No matter, remember, how good a liar you are, when you deceive, it's hard to be completely natural. Then you have another shadows within the shadows. Make it impossible for your enemies, your opponents, to read the situation. The next strategy, the author says, 24th strategy, take the line of least expectation. I've just spoken about all that. The ordinary, and he termed this as the extraordinary strategy. People expect your behavior to confirm, to know a pattern and convention. Your task as a strategist, is to upset their expectations. First, do something ordinary and conventional to fix their image of you. Then hit them with the extraordinary. The terror is greater for being so sudden. Sometimes the ordinary is extraordinary because it is unexpected, unconventional. Next, 25th strategy of the unconventional warfare, or the third strategy of the dirty warfare, is occupy the moral high ground always. The righteous, and he termed it the righteous strategy. In a political world, the cause you are fighting for most, you see, it must appear just. Then the enemies, by questioning your opponent's motives and making them appear evil, you can narrow their bases of support and their room for maneuver. When you yourself come under a moral attack, form a clever enemy. Do not whine or get angry. Fight fire with fire. The next strategy is the 26th strategy is the deny them targets, and he termed it as the strategy of the void. My friend, the feeling of emptiness or void, silence, isolation, non-engagement with others is for most people, absolutely intolerable and unacceptable. They can't sit quiet for very long, keep just watching. Give your enemies no targets to attack at all. Be dangerous but elusive. Then watch as they chase you into the void. Instead of frontal battles, deceive the enemy from the side, so damage from the side attacks and pinprick spikes. Mull over these strategies today. We shall talk about the next 3 strategies tomorrow. Thank you very much.